It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, folks, November 8th, very important time. It's election time. That's the time where we go out and vote. And I know some of you feel like we're not voting, you know, they're all the same and you don't care. Well, that's not the way to feel, folks. It's very important to vote because you're deciding your future, particularly in the county of Schuylkill. Okay, in Schuylkill County, there's a critical election coming up November 8th. You need to know the candidates, and this show has been able to present the candidates to you. Now, I want you to understand that there are a lot of candidates that are coming on the Sam Lesante Show. Please watch the shows. You can go to our websites, go to their website. Learn as much as you can about the candidates. It's very important. Today, my guest is Brad Petchulis, who is running for controller on this election, November 8th. And Brad, how are you?
Good, great, Sam. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to the show. It's a great show. I watch it quite a bit.
No, that's I like you.
Very informational.
Hey, we had a good time at the Lions Club, didn't we?
Yeah, wonderful time. Great group. I'm very active in the Lions Club. Every year we do the Pottsville Cruise. We raise a lot of money for a lot of kids that need a lot of help. We give glasses. All of the money goes back into the community. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to give something back.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because I was a Lion for many, many years, okay? Oh. But speaking to the group there, and like it was a little different for me because I was making a presentation, and but your group is a fun group, and it was nice talking to you there.
Oh,
okay.
100+ members.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Of course, some of those members, get a little rowdy once in a while, but that's the way it goes. But it's a lot of good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, wonderful.
You enjoy it, don't you?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Brad, let's talk about the controller's office. Then I want to talk about Brad Petchulis because many people who know who you are, they're going to vote for you. People who don't know who you are, they have to decide whether they're going to vote for you or your opponents.
Sure.
So, what is the controller's office? What does it do?
The biggest thing is I supervise the fiscal affairs of the people of Schuylkill County, subject to the power and duty of the commissioners. What that means is I manage that office. I'm an administrator. I make sure that the offices, the departments stay on budget. And that's one big issue for me. I want to set up an early warning system to make sure these offices have communication with the controller, with the commissioners, to make sure everybody's a tight-knit group. They have the same fiscal information that everyone else has to make sound financial decisions so they can run their offices efficiently. So they have enough money to provide services for all the Schuylkill County residents.
So basically, it's a critical position because row office is something
very critical.
Yeah, because you're actually the watchdog of the county.
Yes, I touch everybody's life. I manage funds. I make sure I scrutinize bills. I make sure everything that they do is in accordance with the law and the county code. I make sure they, being the commissioners, on their decisions. I also keep books and generally accepted accounting principles to make sure all of our books are well kept.
And I mentioned, I bring that up because recently there has been some turmoil, all right, in the controller's office. And anytime, you're going to have disagreements. I think in any business you have disagreements. But when it comes to county government, you want to put reputable people in there, number one. And number two, you don't want to listen to nonsense. You want people to address things as a business manner because you're representing them. When you get personalities involved, no matter what it is, that becomes a serious problem. Now, recently there have been concerns in the Schuylkill County, in the coroner's office. And I want you to hold that thought. Folks, I'm talking to Brad Petchulis, and he is running for county controller in Schuylkill County, November 8th. As I said to you before, folks, it's critical that you know who you're voting for. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Brad Petchulis, candidate for Schuylkill County Controller. I've been manager of Marlin Markets for over 10 years. I bring the skills that are necessary to be an effective leader with an open-door policy, not a gotcha mentality. We do not need another accountant in the office. We need a manager, an administrator, with the skills necessary to bring professionalism and integrity to the office. Please be sure to vote for me, Brad Petchulis, on Tuesday, November 8th. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. November 8th, remember I told you, critical time, please, in Schuylkill County, vote. It's very important. My guest today is Brad Petchulis. He is running for coroner excuse me, controller. He's running for controller. Very important position, folks. It's the watchdog of the county. As we said, Brad, the controller's office is you put everything together. You're watching everything. You have to work with everybody. Work with everybody. I said work with everybody. The reason I'm saying that is because in the last year or two, there's been some problems that just keep on arising in the controller's office. Why don't you, for those people who do not know what happens in the controller's office and what happened currently with the controller, explain that to us.
Well, it's a pivotal office, Sam. You need everyone to work together, get the correct information to the necessary parties, the commissioners, the row offices, the different departments. It's critical to have a great rapport with everyone around you to make sure you have an atmosphere that you could bring people in when they have problems, they have questions, they need financial data, they can get it. And currently, the current county controller is not doing that. She's having trouble with her communication skills. She's having trouble getting information to other offices. It's almost a locked door policy and kind of a gotcha mentality. And there's no place for that in county government. My other opponent and her worked together in the controller's office. They were unable to complete Schuylkill County's audit. We had to get another person in to complete the audit, and I don't believe it's still finished. There's a lot of problems with that. You have to work together. When I run a big business, I have 30 employees, we all are on the same page. I push it. Our biggest resource is our customer base. The same thing with county government. You can't forget why you're there. You're there to help people. You're there to make sure the departments have the resources to help everyone involved to make it easier on the taxpayers and everyone around, that they can still provide service and make county government efficient. That's your job.
Okay, now, with all that being said, we talked about the controller's office and what has to be done. Now, what about Brad Petchulis? Who are you? What's your background? And what qualifies you to be in that position?
Okay. First, it's a wonderful success story for me. I started out, I graduated from Pottsville Area High School. I graduated, I went on to Penn State, and I met my lovely wife, who were married 20 years. I dropped out of Penn State. I worked very hard. I helped her through nursing school. She graduated from Kutztown University, and I later on went back to Albright University. I graduated second honors with a business and administration degree. I've worked very hard turning our small family business into a large multi-million-dollar company. I manage 30 people. We have a wonderful reputation all throughout Schuylkill County. We're a very hard-working family. We've done a lot of good for families around us, and I've been involved in Schuylkill County. I've lived there my whole life, and I love Schuylkill County.
You have two beautiful sons,
boys,
too.
Edward and Bradley. Bradley's 19 and Edward's 9.
Okay, now I have a business here, and I have to be involved in this business like you have to be involved in your business. And it requires time and effort for me to be in this business. Now, if I was going to run for an office, I'd have to be able to say, what do I do now? Do I have, what will you do? Because people say, when you have this successful business, you have 30 employees, you're responsible for it. How is he going to find the time to be a controller?
Right. I'm going to be a full-time controller. I have 2 brothers that are going to take over my role in the family business. They're going to step up to the plate. They're going to run it while I'm away. And they understand that. We've had that talk. I've been there. Let's face it, I've been there for my family since I'm 12 years old in the business. I'm 38 years old now. I've worked very hard. I've put a lot of time in and a lot of effort, and I've just grown that I want to do more. I want to bring my management style to the courthouse to try and help out Schuylkill County, the place that I've called my home. I'm tired of people saying my children graduated and had to move out. They had to leave. They had to go somewhere else, and that tears a lot of families apart. Oh, and like I said, I love Schuylkill County. I want to make it better.
So why did you decide to run for controller?
Well,
what's perked your interest other than running for a county commissioner or something else? Why controller?
Well, controller, like I said, Sam, it touches everyone. It really does. It touches every different department, and that's one of the biggest things people have to get through. The controller's office, like I said, is to supervise fiscal affairs. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to manage it. The biggest reason why I did it is because I said I love Schuylkill County. I've been blessed. I have a wonderful family here, and I want to make sure that we do things that would make Schuylkill County better.
So what you've said so far is the criteria and why you think you're the better candidate for the job.
I have excellent leadership skills. I'm an excellently qualified administrator, and I've graduated from Albright with second honors. I'm the zoning officer for Norwegian Township. I have a decent accounting background. I have a great management style, and I want to bring that to the controller's office.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. What do you think right now is the most pressing issue that you will have to deal with as the county controller? So the public knows, you know, what does Brad have to face?
We have to complete Schuylkill County's audit.
And
we have to stop wasting time and money on frivolous lawsuits, making mountains out of molehills. The current county controller seems to me that seeks more publicity than actually fixing problems, and that's a big problem.
And so you're saying the most pressing issue right now is the audit.
The audit, yes.
And so the public understands that. Why is that so important?
To balance the county's books. That's the most important thing, to make sure that all the different departments know where they stand. Let's face it, we don't have resources to waste. Nobody does.
No,
it's very, very tough times. And for us to be in a position where we don't have solid, concrete financial data is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And that is the biggest issue in that office.
Have you studied the office and know just exactly what are some of the key areas? I mean, I'm sure you've done this.
Well, there's 22 material deficiencies in the audit. A lot of them, you know, regularity, consistency, sincerity, prudence, good faith. I mean, a lot of the stuff is another failure for the current county controller to provide the information needed to complete the audit with factual, honest, sincere data.
So how does it affect me, a taxpayer in the Schuylkill County? So I'm thinking, well, all right, it's an audit, so big deal, let them get it done. But how does it really affect me as a taxpayer in Schuylkill County? And why should I be really concerned about that audit? And why should I want to put a controller in there that will get the job done?
Well, Sam, a big thing is, what if I told you we were short $3 million in a different department because we overspent? Now where do we get the money from? Should we shut down an office? Should we shut down a department that provides service, like children and youth, or a different department, and say, hey, we can't provide that service anymore? Then who hurts? The people that go to these offices. Now, what do I say to a family that needs it? We can't do it anymore? And it's unacceptable, totally unacceptable. And that's what actually happens. So when people say, well, why should I vote for you, or how's it gonna affect my life? That's how it affects your life. When you go to an office and they no longer provide service, where else do you go?
You know, you bring a good point up, because that's why I said November 8th is a critical time, and people should know the candidates. And some people say, they're all a bunch of crooks anyway. They're all a bunch of bums, etc. Because of what has happened in the country. I mean, they've been lied to so many times by our Congress. They've been told a zillion times that things are going to be done, and people are saying, well, where are the jobs? Where are this? Where's that? So it's all nonsense to me, because I feel that if they would study the person who's going in there and put politics aside, vote for the qualified candidate, Brad, we would probably have less of concerns with what's happening now. That's only my opinion. But when you, as a controller, what you're saying to me is why I should be very concerned as a resident of Schuylkill County is because if there is a shortfall for $3 million, there's one of the things to do. You close down a department that maybe my family's using that's critical to me, or you raise the taxes.
Right. And I could ask any person out on the street and say to them, would you like better roads? Yes. Would you like more social services? Yes, I would. How would you like me to pay for it? Would you like me to raise your taxes? No, I would not. So there's limited ways of revenue. And right now, we don't have any way of making that up. Times are tough. Times are tough. We got to tighten our belt. We got to make sure we have our finger on the problem.
I was telling you in the office about, sometimes in life, it's like when you go to a doctor and you need a special surgery or whatever. You're going to make sure that you do as much homework on that doctor who's going to operate on you as possible to know about that person. And in your case, or in the controller's case, no matter who the candidate is, they should know who the person is. They should know about the person and what the person is going to bring to the table. And you say you have all those benefits.
Sure. Yes. I'm very qualified. I'm actually the treasurer for the Schuylkill County Municipal Authority as well. I sit on that board. I was on the pension board as well.
Your business, you said, is a very successful business.
Very successful.
And how involved are you in that business that became successful?
Extremely involved. 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week. Mm-hmm. I've worked and built the business, me and my family. I've taken it over for the last 10 years. I'm an intricate part of it. The management skills that I've brought to the table after graduating from Albright, I've incorporated everything into our business. So, and it made us grow leaps and bounds. Our business has quadrupled.
Now, hopefully you're hoping to bring those talents to the courthouse.
I will bring them to the courthouse.
And then putting aside the business, this is going to be your focus right on the courthouse. Commissioner McAndrew, Commissioner Ventura, and Commissioner Stodmeyer, right now, they're the current commissioners, of course. But the Ventura and McAndrews have endorsed you.
Yes.
Okay? And why do you think they've endorsed you? Because they like you?
Well, that helps too. That helps. But
I like you too, but I want to vote for you because you're qualified. I mean, and that's the same thing with the other opponents.
Correct.
I mean, I want to study them and make sure I'll vote for the most qualified candidate.
They understand the controller's position better than anyone. They've dealt with it for the last 4 years. They know they need an administrator to supervise the fiscal affairs of the people of Schuylkill County. They know I'm highly qualified. I've turned a small business into a multi-million-dollar business. I've sat on I'm the treasurer for the Schuylkill County Municipal Authority. They know how I am. They know my work skills. They know my management style. I empower employees. I work together. I make sure that everybody is on the same page. We have to work together. Like I stress it at work, we do more with less all the time. We have to work together, buckle our chin straps up, and get the job done. No excuses. Hard work, and we see results.
Can you work with anyone, Brad?
Yeah, I haven't found a person yet
Okay.
that I could not. There are people out there, I'm being a little facetious, but there are people out there that are difficult to work with. Mm-hmm. But in my training and stuff, the person that is more difficult to work with just causes a little bit of a rift. So you try and mend, you try and bend a little bit. You have to be a little elastic. You have to try and bend to other people's weaknesses or strengths.
You know what I found in politics, and we're seeing it now in the country, where you had a company that ripped our government off for $500 million, and because there was agendas involved, okay, mm-hmm. and Bush put a loan on hold, and then we have a Congress or a president comes in and they have their own agendas. And sometimes when you have an agenda, you say, well, all right, she or he worked against me on this election. And boy, when I get in there, I'm going to fix their boots, okay? Those are the kind of things that I don't think smart people do.
I agree 100%. I mean, a smart, honest, hardworking person who has the best interest of their constituents or their area or county in mind.
I sense that with Schuylkill County, because I've had many lunches with McAndrew and Ventura, and also I know Stodmeyer, and haven't had lunch with him, but I mean, because I'm concerned. We have local television here,
Right.
and we're going to become more involved in this county, because like we do in Luzerne County, we have a television station with news, and we're going to bring information. We don't have agendas, and you need to work with people. You need to have people look up to
definitely.
To reputable people.
And the controller's office is a perfect example there, to be non-biased, to not look at somebody for what they are, or who they are, or what they did in an election. You have to be non-biased and do what's right for the county. Financial data has to go to everyone. This is bigger than all of us. Schuylkill County needs a leader in that office. We need somebody who's going to bring everyone together. And my opponents in the election, after this is over, I'll work with them. I have no problem. I'll work with them hand in hand, because I'm there for one reason and one reason only, Sam, to make Schuylkill County better.
So, Brad, you feel that you have the educational background,
Yes.
okay, to fill the position, and you also feel you have the managerial background to fill this position.
That's my biggest strength.
So, in dealing with these people, do you have a plan in mind as to a team that you have developed? Because I know when I was chairman of the community college board, I had a team. Okay, I had to surround myself by people who knew more about the different divisions, which I do.
Right.
Okay, so do you have a tentative team? I don't want you to name people. I just want to know. Yeah.
Yes, I do. You're exactly right, Sam. You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that. As long as you empower your employees and give them the tools to succeed, you have a great shot.
How accessible will you be to the public?
Well, I'll give you this little tidbit. I'm the
Is
zoning.
this exclusive now?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm the zoning officer for Norwegian Township. They put my cell phone number in the newsletter and send it to everyone. So I get phone calls at 5:30 in the morning. I know you're not.
Cities love that.
Oh yeah, my wife loves it.
Yeah.
But they say, "Oh, I know you're not in the office." Well, I'm not in the office at 5:30 in the morning, but I'm very accessible. I call them back as soon as I'm able to. I'm very accessible. My door's open at any time. I'll come down. I'll meet you at your house. I'll meet you at our store. I'll fill the permits out on the back of my pickup truck if I have to.
So, and I think that's important, because people want to know that you're accessible. No, not that you want people, knocking on your door every 10 minutes.
Right.
I mean, reasonable.
Sure.
And your meetings with the commissioners, how often do you plan to have meetings with the commissioners or the other row officers?
Well, what I want to do in the different offices and departments, I want to set up an early warning system, an early budget warning system, to make sure that every department, whether it be a row office or different departments, knows where their budget is at any given time during the year. I want to set it up if it's 6 months, one of the row offices used up 80% of their budget. I want to know why. I want to sit down with them and the commissioners, and I want to know why. Maybe there was a big capital expenditure or something like that, and we could say, well, it's not going to happen, but we want to provide service throughout the rest of the year.
And that's so critical in any business, because sometimes it's not that they mean to do it, okay?
No,
because
stuff happens.
that's right, and so that's why I said the watchdog is saying, hey, look, Sammy, you have a budget of $4 million, and you spend 2.7 in 4 months. Oh, did I? What?
Why?
That's exactly
Why?
right.
That's
so
what
it's
we're
not
not
that
getting.
and it's not that you're saying that they did something wrong.
No, I want to know why. Everybody wants to know why, only so we could keep the service provided in the office.
See, I think that's critical. I think that
definitely critical.
In any business, that's very important, because then you get back in line again.
Correct.
And how often will you be doing these checks and balances?
Once a month, I'd like to. I'd like to incorporate that same thing into the pension board. I sit on the pension board, and it's critical. I mean, how many people depend on a pension? That we should have an early warning system.
Don't mess with that, or you're gonna.
I'm just saying that people that can't go to work anymore, like me and you, Sam, could go out and get a couple extra hours or something, or do something else and work and pay our bills. But older people that rely on a pension, what are they supposed to do? That's the single biggest line item in our audit. And I'd like to have an early warning system on that too, just to let people know where it is.
How is Schuylkill County financially?
We're doing well right now. The three commissioners, Mantura and Angie McAndrew, they've done a good job. Frank, They've done a great job so far. And like I said, our audit is not completed as of yet.
So you're saying that's a serious problem?
Yeah, a very serious problem. I mean, it's been tried. There was 2 attempts, and I believe it's still not correct.
Now, what happens if you should have the good fortune of winning and the audit is not completed? You know, if you go in the office, what do you have to do? Pick it up?
That's exactly what I will do. I'll make it my #1 priority to make sure our audit is done and done correctly.
Why isn't it done? I don't understand. I mean, I can't speak for the people. Why do you think it's not completed?
I believe they're not making the adjusting journal entries. I believe their inability to communicate with the auditors. There could be any number of reasons. I don't want to cast dispersions on anyone because I don't know the exact reasons why it's not complete. I know it's not complete, and which is unacceptable.
So if you had the opportunity of going in, maybe looking at you, then you could pinpoint something. And I don't, and I appreciate what
like
you're saying.
Like I said, 22 material deficiencies were picked up on the first audit, but then I don't know because then there was another audit. There was another auditor that came in after that auditor to try and complete it, and like I said, it still was not completed.
Now, are the commissioners pushing to get that audit finished?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. They're 100% behind wanting to get it completed. I mean, geez,
now, if there's politics being played here because it's not being done, then I think it's a disgrace and they should be ashamed of themselves, especially to the particular the people in Schuylkill County. If it's such a situation where it's a financial or a book audit or something that has to do with the office itself or the different departments, I could understand. But sometimes it's like, I'll fix you, okay? And I'm hoping that's not the case, okay?
I don't believe that's the case. Yeah. I believe it's just deficiencies and not having...
Not having the wherewithal, not having the education to do it, not having the ability to do it?
Correct. I think it's an accumulation of all of those things, not having the communication. Like that's a big issue.
Well, folks, I'm talking to Brad Petchulis. He's running for controller. As you can see, as during the discussion, this is a pretty important office, okay? And it's important that you look at all the candidates. And we have the other candidates on the Sam Lesante Show. Their website, we're going to put up on the screen, is petchulisforcontroller.com. I encourage you to definitely go there and learn as much as you can about Brad, as well as I tell you to learn about all the other candidates. Brad, you got about a minute left. That's your camera. Tell the people in Schuylkill County why they should vote for Brad Petchulis for controller.
I'm a hardworking family man, and anyone could find a problem, but it takes a special person to fix it.
Short and sweet.
Yes.
Okay, well, I wish you the best. I know one thing. Anybody who runs for office, anyone who runs for office, I applaud. It's a challenge. It's a sacrifice on your family. You have a beautiful wife and 2 lovely sons. And it's a challenge, okay? Yes. And so I applaud anybody, and I wish you the best. And if you should be in there, we'll be definitely working with you here on SSP TV and being able to maybe interview you once every 3 months or 4 months just to give let people know what's going on.
Snapshot.
Yeah, not snapshot. Live on my show.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, I'll be here.
I wish you the best, you and your family.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, remember November the 8th, Schuylkill County, also in Luzerne County. It's important that you vote. I know some of you feel it's definitely important, as you heard. Just look what happens in the controller's office. If things go haywire, there's a lot of services that can be stopped, and plus there could be an increase in tax. And folks, we're taxed to death the way it is. Don't forget to vote. We'll see you next time.